Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Taskforce Echo. I'm your executive producer here at Final Show Films, John, and I turn it over to our game master for the evening, Wilhelm.
Well, I'm William, and I am playing the role of the Caprulu sector in this StarCraft RPG campaign. Let us begin by introducing our player characters. I'm not going to bother with the hands because I'm not looking at the screen right now, so I don't know where people are at, but we're going to start with John.
I'm John, and I'm playing Vazaran, the Tal'Darim Pirate Queen, who forgot to tweet out that we're live and is going to do that now.
And then we're going to go to Jeremy.
Hello, I'm Jeremy. I am playing Dirk, the Terran Moron.
And then we're going to go to Jack.
Hi everybody, I'm Jack, and I'm playing Koronix, the Protoss Nerazim scholar.
And Aaron.
Hi, I'm Erin, and I'm playing Abe, the sweet, the half of not a half elf.
Oh, that happened.
Terran.
Secrets.
Ava's not a half elf. Ava is secretly a changeling.
So many
Terran medic.
secrets.
And Cody.
I'm Cody. I'm playing Oswald, the Terran pilot.
And I'm trying not to say your character's name before your name, and Sarah.
I'm Sarah, and I play Rachel, the Terran who's good with fire.
So much fire.
All the fire.
All the fire.
There's a spider hanging
hound.
off my mic.
Nice. Kiss it.
Sounds like a personal problem.
I'm going to kill it.
No, don't kill it. Let it go gently.
I am going to murder it.
No.
Not go gently into that good night.
Yeah. There.
Take it outside.
It is
Take it
murder.
outside.
All right.
Yeah,
This is not a bar fight, Sarah.
I'm so sorry, Spider.
And when last we left the task force, they had successfully raided the Black Site 3, and at the suggestion of the emotionless ghost and the acquiescence of the Taskforce Echo leader, vented the entire space station, and all non-task force allies aborted. Or all non-task force living creatures aborted.
Hey, I'm a Protoss. As far as I'm concerned, everybody can survive in the vacuum of space, right? Or is
Exactly.
that just us? Damn it.
That's what I said last time.
It's not true, and you both know it.
And we rolled an insight check, and we know you both know it.
Well, you know,
Yes.
Vazaran knows it. I don't know if you rolled against Koronix.
Nobody
No.
rolled against me.
But Koronix,
Because I'm dumb.
Oh, I've had this conversation with Cornix, and I have a high enough opinion of Cornix's intelligence to assume he has retained that information.
also,
Assuming you found it important.
Dirk is not smart enough to think that other people might not realize it. If he knows it, clearly everybody else knows it.
But and beyond that, also discovered within the holding cells of Black Site 3, a stasis chamber containing what turned out to be a very, very ancient Protoss from about 3 millennia ago.
As you do.
And upon awakening him, there was a brief confrontation between him and Koronix, as his people at the time were having a bit of a fight amongst each other, and Koronix's tribe was one of the enemies.
That was like a bajillion years ago.
3,000.
For you.
It was yesterday for him.
Yes, it was.
It's only like 3 generations ago for Protoss.
True.
But with him taking up a memory crystal and learning all that has passed all that has passed in recent time, he definitely doesn't have the entire span of events because your memory crystal can hold all that. But after learning what had happened recently in the unification of the Daylon, decided that he needed to go and speak to this hierarch Artanis and learn more about what has gone on. And that is where we left off. Oh yes, the last thing that had been said, the Protoss looked over at the Terran and asked of you, Cornix, this Terran, does it move? He asks, because Dirk has not twitched that gun from him since this conversation started.
Not a micron.
Mhm.
If he knew what a
Indeed.
micron was.
They do. Dirk Garrick. At
Sir?
ease.
Moment, narrowed eyes, but sir steps aside.
This one's combat regimen is exceedingly solid.
He has acquitted himself quite well in our various excursions. Should you require any backup at any point during your time with us, it would make an excellent addition. That's right, Cornix is pimping Dirk out.
Another sentence I thought I'd never hear.
This game took a turn.
I mean, Vazaran was thinking about that a long time ago. It just took Cornix a bit to catch up.
Strange to envision the firstborn standing among aliens as equals. But the crystal has shown that much has transpired in my sleep.
Should you require it, we are fully capable of providing you transport to a location where you may contact the rest of the Daylon.
I would seek to meet with the current hierarch.
Then we shall guide you thither.
And you do know Cornix, and it's not quite as simple as hierarch anymore. There's actually a council that rules the Daylon.
Right.
Artanis is one of them. He's not the sole leader.
No, we'll leave that for details later. At this point, it's just,
that.
oh, good, you're not trying to hit me with a sword anymore.
All right.
Has the ship started moving yet, by the way?
It's slowly getting underway. People are having to get it online. It hasn't started going anywhere yet.
Okay.
Because you kind of had to get your people on board to actually get the ship moving.
It's true.
All right, so what are you guys doing while you're waiting for the ship to get moving?
I'm acquiring gear from my supplicants.
I was told by Dirk that there was the possibility of a medical necessity. So I'm headed down to the indicated area.
There are
Cornix will
too many
be-
people. Sorry, go ahead.
Cornix will be guiding Verisan back to the Akundalar and giving him just a very basic verbal explanation of, we have a ship, we will depart for a station where the various alien races stand on more or less equal footing, and that we will get him in contact with the hierarch as soon as we reach our communications room.
Actually, it was coming from the ship, so
Yeah.
So yeah, we will probably meet you on the way.
And there are too many things that Dirk does not trust right now around or in his general vicinity, so he's sticking with the one that's in the vicinity of his commander and following them.
Like water, air, and good sense. Other things Dirk doesn't trust.
No. He trusts those first two.
Oh, okay. Good.
He just doesn't partake of the first one.
Yeah. No water. It burns.
Nope. No. He loves water, particularly when it has particular grains put into it.
Right. And is allowed to sit and flavor for a little while.
Yeah, exactly.
Get the feeling Dirk drinks his whiskey neat, though.
You are probably not proud.
Abe was just proud Dirk knows that water and alcohol are related substances.
I mean, they're both liquids. Don't get too excited. He probably thinks that lava is too. I can drink this, right? I know it's hot, but
I'm sure you
Theoretically, you can drink any liquid.
So I assume I meet Cornix and confusingly named NPC
And Verasan.
Verisan and Dirk all headed back together.
and other Vera.
And Oswald, who was there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Oswald was with us too.
Yep.
I was just hanging outside.
So yeah, as I come out, I'll just sort of gesture for Oswald to follow.
I will.
And glide off down the passages.
All right, so you make your way back to the Akundalar, relatively with little effort. Are you heading back to the Akundalar specifically?
Yes.
Okay.
Headed straight for the communications room.
All right. You make it there, and as you enter, Vera sort of
I
leans
was-
up from her position, bolts into the wall. You were saying something, Aaron?
I was trying to figure out if I crossed paths with them before they got there.
Yes, absolutely.
Give a nod to Captain
It was
Survivor.
Yes, a prisoner who's been held by Sons of Creation for, well, probably quite some time.
I lean over there.
What is
There
the
was some
organization?
stabbing that went on. Might want to look into. I don't know if
Oh, is
anybody-
anyone injured?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, Cornix took a few.
As did the other guy.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
He got shot.
Start with Cornix, and then
Yeah, what is he at?
come on. First aid on aliens. Let's go.
Yeah, he's at 6. He's 20 points down.
Well, you're gonna be fine.
Dun, dun.
Also, the result plus 5 is a result plus 25. I haven't changed it yet.
Okay, cool.
So
That's 35. Or sorry, 45,
I'm
yeah.
feeling much better.
Yeah. 45, but no critical wounds. And then getting to the other guy.
Ava Sweet is our medical professional who takes care of our injuries when we sustain them.
He's the doc.
She is quite capable and understands our physiology with remarkable insight.
Indeed. It is unusual to see someone who has knowledge and understanding of Protoss physiology who is not of our kind. I understand that much is true even in this era.
You are not wrong, my friend.
It was like the one person who didn't get this information from dissecting a whole bunch of Protoss, so
Or did she? Dun dun dun.
no.
She's not the
she
one. She
didn't.
just watched all the videos.
Someone else did the dissecting.
Exactly.
ProTube.
That's something else.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably multiple things.
All right. So, you group back up, successfully healed just about everybody.
Okay.
Oh, you healed everybody? Alright.
I mean, I guess I should probably roll the checks. Are both of the Terrans also injured?
I mean, just the amount that I was previously, I think.
We're saving that in case you fall off a bridge.
Yes, because I have 1 health. I have 1 healing threshold
Okay,
left.
But for Oswald, the plus 5 is again and plus 25.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the
So
plus 25 would have done it.
so
Well, if I roll a natural 1, no, it wouldn't. But
Yeah.
you heal
Full.
67.
I really want to find a bridge to fall off of now.
I can provide you one if you ask
I mean,
nicely.
ships have bridges, but I don't think they're the kind you're looking for.
Oh, I'm sure I could fall off of it.
I can
You could just-
I can provide you a bridge to fall off if you ask nicely.
Guys, no! That kills people!
Just telekinetic slam.
And he knows things. He knows things that kills people, don't you? That was supposed to be subtle for Dirk.
That's the Dirk's tend to be subtle, yeah. All right, so you successfully make your way back to the Equindalar, and as you enter the comm room, Vera kind of leans up from her position, bolted into the wall, and just, I see you're back.
Indeed, Adjutant Vera.
Weird, creepy thing. Hi.
If you would, open a communications channel to the Council of the Daylon.
Vera-san has this brief moment of, like, almost abject horror as he almost mistakes this creature for a Terran actually nailed to the wall. Before
I
he
know.
takes
It's
a look
weird,
and realizes
huh?
that it's made of metal.
I still can't figure out how to get it to work.
Maybe some Terrans have
I mean,
flesh
you
that
just-
is metal flesh.
Just talk to it, Dirk.
Huh?
You just talk to it. Ask it questions.
It is just an
Where is the
oddly
toilet paper?
designed
I know that's a
piece of
question you wanted
technology.
to ask.
Sorry, what did Cody? What did Oswald say?
Oswald said that Dirk just has to ask it questions like, "Where's the toilet paper? We're out."
I mean, are we out?
No.
It was headed to the
No.
All right then.
to the med bay.
That's
But,
just an
I mean-
example.
What if I need to know something and I don't want her to know that I need to know it?
I'm afraid the only way I can find your information is if you tell me something.
Yeah.
That's just weird.
Do you not ask your librarian for information?
No.
Dirk, do you go to the library?
That yeah, there's that uncomprehending stare, blink, blink. I'm a
So yes.
look at Cornix. Are we good for now?
I just wanted him to be like, I'm a Republican.
Oh.
Which you can take however you want. Indeed, Dirk Garrick. If you would
Alright,
continue to see to the supplies and other equipment that we may have.
supplies are
received from the
handled.
station.
I'm gonna go get a beer, and I head off to the mess hall
Oh, I'll go. I want a beer too.
because there is too much weird shit and shit that he's just not comfortable with going on right now. Dirk is having a crisis of something.
Dirk is having a crisis.
Yes.
I'm gonna snag a beer too and head back to the comms room. But I can just watch this and yeah. Huh.
So the question therein is it just a traditional beer or is it, Scotty Bulger's number 8 whiskey? Like 8
Whatever we
whiskey?
have on board.
The space version of Natty Bow. That's what it is.
Oswald's not a. I don't think Oswald's picky.
Yeah, no. It's.
I mean,
got
in
alcohol
Dirk's
in it,
mind,
it's fine.
Dirk is getting the 120 proof beer that isn't actually beer because
I like to think. I like to think Dirk is drinking Duff beer.
yes. Oh my god! Tell me that there's Duff beer in the StarCraft universe.
One, I don't know what Duff beer is because I don't have that
It's-
much alcohol.
That Duff
Simpsons
beer is
reference.
the beer in the Simpsons.
Okay.
It's not
But if
actually.
you're looking for like the 120 proof, you're probably looking for Scotty Bolger's old number 8 whiskey.
Wonderful.
That's the stereotypical Terran Marine whiskey, which is to say the whiskey that criminals who want something that's going to burn their throat will drink.
Produced on Tarsonis.
Yes. Was produced on Tarsonis.
But yeah, was. But yeah, he's having Vera open up a comm channel to the hierarch. Hello, computer. Call the president. Let's see how this goes.
Computationally.
Who'd you ask Vera to contact?
To contact the hierarch just to see what happens.
Right. The hierarch of Daylon. I'm afraid you're going to have to give me some communication channels if you want that. I haven't got any of those locked in.
Very well, then. Can you speak with Templar Carax? Do we have those?
Yes, I do have access to Unity Station where Face Smith Carax is supposed to be.
Excellent. And then, sort of aside to Verisan, the Phase-Smith is quite high standing in the Daylum hierarchy at this point. He has advanced through the ranks of the Templar. He will be able to answer many of your questions.
A member of the Kalai, among the ranks of the Templar.
Indeed. As you have so keenly put it, much has changed during your sleep.
Let's see. It's more than I had thought. Alright, the communicator hums for a minute as it's trying to find a signal before the very familiar kind of... Honestly, Carax has the friendliest face you could imagine a Protoss having. For someone that doesn't have a mouth, he's got sort of this... His facial structure is a little bit wider and more like broad facing, so there's a lot more that's looking at you rather than that slanted, like superior look.
He's more potato, less granite.
And he's also got this like big beard made out of some kind of mineral factor growing out of what would be his chin. It's just this sort of like rock beard that grows out of the bottom of his face.
And it doesn't hurt that he's voiced by Travis Willingham, so you know.
He's also voiced by Travis Willingham, so. The screen opens up and I see that I'm being contacted by Taskforce Echo. Yes, how can I assist you?
Smith Carax, we have been investigating the doings of the Sons of Creation and have found one of our own brethren held by them. He has questions. If you would be so kind as to speak with him, I believe you will be quite interested in what he has to say.
You step aside and Verisan steps into view, and Carax's eyes like double up in size for a second as he like, my, that armor dates back to the to the Aeon of Strife. Where did you get it? And Verisan looks up. This is the armor that I was sealed within the tomb of the ancients with. I was to guard an ancient armory for the duration of my stasis. And Carax has this sort of... There's this momentary pause that you as a Protoss are the only one that can really read as gobsmacked, but
Yes, hello. I am from Atlantis, which you may know also as El Dorado.
This is incredible. I
and
did not know
yeah,
that we had any functioning
and
stasis
Koronix
facilities.
just sort of gives him a nod, like, I know, right?
I was unaware that we had any functioning stasis facilities still remaining from that time. Where were you found? Verasan sort of rattles off the set of coordinates. Says, it was a world far from our home world, but I was there to guard an ancient set of Zelnaga technologies that had been uncovered until such time as the firstborn could properly study them. It seems these sons of creation that found me got there first. It is a great shame that these coordinates were lost to the ages, or else we may have had need of you during the Amon crisis. But what can I do to help? He asks the room.
I believe that with the knowledge that the Sons of Creation have accessed such powerful and ancient artifacts, it may be necessary for more detailed analysis of these facts. Unfortunately, it is somewhat beyond my auspice to determine the proper course of action, and we hope to consult with your knowledge and wisdom as to where we might proceed for our next step. We have options to attempt to acquire and neutralize the other two black site bases out of which the Sons of Creation operate. However, we have not yet determined where the Zelnaga artifacts might be stored, and the potential of investigating the Tomb of Ancients is now also on the table, as the Terrans say. What would your advice be?
Well, I'm afraid that the longer we tarry, the more time there is to allow these other black sites to change their position and lose sight of them. I believe it is best that we gather a force and prepare to strike both black sites at the same time.
Wise counsel. Verasan, do you have an alternate point of view?
I am unfamiliar with these black sites. I was not awakened from stasis during my transport from the Tomb of Ancients. Seems they were able to move me from one cell to another without awakening. But it is my military experience that suggests that striking an enemy who has a secondary base is only effective if you will be able to track. An attack on both bases would be advisable should you be able to successfully take. If one should escape, however, you may never find them.
Also wise. For yourself, do you wish to come along on these assaults, or would you prefer to take some time to reintegrate yourself into the life of the sector?
There is much that I have missed, but I would be remiss if I did not see. Oh God, I'm losing track of names. I would be remiss if I did not see Cost's wrath dealt to these interlopers.
Very well. And we will find lodging for you aboard the Akundalar. You will accompany us on this assault. We will likely need to resupply, possibly make a few upgrades, but once we have determined that all the data from this black site has been found, the intelligence will be utilized to plan our next engagement.
And Verasan looks up at Carax. If possible, I would like to meet with the current hierarch of the Daylom. He says the word like he's getting used to saying the phrase because it's still very new to him.
Yeah.
And Karax, yes, very well. I will instruct Artanis that we have a living relic of our history among us, and he will likely be very intrigued to meet you. I suspect he will be here by the time that you and the Black Site reach Unity Station. Very well. He looks over at Cornix. I have all that I need.
Then swiftness is of the essence. I will contact our other operatives on board the station, and we will depart as soon as possible. Adjutant Vera, please find necessary supplies for Verison's stationing aboard the Akundalar.
Well, from my experience, you Protoss don't really need much in the way of lodging, so he shouldn't need too much.
Excellent. Feel free to familiarize yourself with the layout of the ship, Verison. I will speak with you further at a later moment.
All right. He leaves and goes around to get an eye of what's going on. Anything else that you have to do here, Cornix?
No, I just need to check in on what intel we've been able to pull off of Black Site 3, specifically locations, any sort of readouts or schematics for the other two Black Sites, and specifically access codes, if there's anything like that on the computer systems. Probably talk to Stone or somebody about that.
Yeah, you want to talk to Stone about that.
Yep.
Right.
But yeah,
So
so that's what he'll be doing. Everybody else, he'll sort of keep them. He'll update any other members of the Akundalar crew that he meets on the way. Hey, we found an ancient Protoss. He's coming along. Don't freak out if you see him wandering around the Akundalar.
I think Rachel is the only crew that doesn't know, other than me. But I'm not the crew, so.
Neither am I.
You've been on the Akundalar.
Player characters, then. Any of the other player characters he runs across.
Yes.
All right. And Rachel, what are you doing at this time?
Polishing my firebat suit.
Just giving it a good shine.
Preparing it for whatever is coming next.
All right.
Getting one of those nice chamois cloths and doing the circles of polishing.
Wax on, wax off.
Yeah,
Yep.
something like that.
Wax on, wax on, wax on, wax off.
All right. Anyone else have anything that they're doing at this time?
I am acquiring items.
Yeah. So you make your way up around to the bridge of this black site as the other people are maneuvering around, and as you're walking, Tyrek approaches you. Madam, we have acquired one of your requisition requests. It is prepared for you.
Ah, is it on the ship?
Actually, I believe one of our own is bringing it to you now. He looks over his shoulder, and you see a pair of Terrans very carefully holding these satchels of equipment and Protoss weapons in their arms, on their power armor as they approach. There they are now.
Thank you, my dears. And I'll reach out and pick up. The first thing I pick up is a long black, it looks like a staff, like a black iron staff. And then the second thing looks like a folded, like a collapsible black iron shield. Put my hand through the second one, see how it integrates with the side blade on my armor. A lovely fit. And then I'll acquire all the other bits and pieces and attach them to my armor as they go.
Alright.
And then
You acquired a side double blade, side double scythe, a shuriken cannon, and
glaive cannon.
or glaive cannon. Sorry, I'm thinking 40k. A glaive cannon and a variety of supplies.
Yep, a variety of other supplies. Thank you very much. Be sure to restock on anything we need when we arrive at this Unity station. I'm certain they will still trade with us.
Indeed. I'll make a list of anything we might be in short supply of.
Yes. And make a shopping list for whatever we might be looking for in these other 2 black sites. We've given them this one. I'm certain we'll be able to potentially pick some salvage over the next 2.
Certainly. All right, he departs and goes back to overseeing the duties of everyone else who was on this ship.
And I walk up to the bridge to see how close we are to actually taking off.
As you get to the bridge, you can see people closing up panels as if they had just got done rewiring everything, getting everything back up to speed. People are manning bridge controls. It looks like you're getting ready to take off.
I'll look over at Stone, who I'm assuming is on the bridge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stone, do we have an ETA?
Roughly 2 hours.
Well then, we should let the others know, I assume. And I'll pull up the holographic crystalline display that is now integrated into my suit, and shoot a message over to shoot an update over to the Akundalar, letting them know, letting the adjutant know to let whoever's aboard know that we will be leaving shortly and arriving in a couple of hours.
So on board the ship, Vera's voice comes over the shipboard speakers. Incoming message from the broker. Looks like it's ready to leave in about 2 hours.
Did Dirk just get surprised?
Yes. Yes, he 100% did.
And I haven't been told that there's another person on the ship yet, so we'll wait until that happens.
He's a little jumpy at the moment. Because reasons.
If you're in the same place as Stone, Cornix will be by fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And speaking of Dirk, at some point while you're sitting down in the mess hall having a drink, this ancient Protoss figure steps into the doorway and just proceeds to look around.
Look over at him. Slowly stand up. Don't take any action towards him. Just
Are you still in your
staring a
power?
hole through him.
Are you
Yes, probably.
He just takes in his surroundings and looks through the area. So this is the area where Terrans retrieve nutritional intake.
No, it's where we eat. And drink. And relax.
I see. He just kind of looks around for a minute and can practically sense the awkwardness, especially because he's a telepath. And turns around and walks out.
Sit down. Yeah, you better keep going.
Yeah, Oswald has been following him too. Just watching, talking if he wants to. But yeah, when he walked into the mess hall, Oswald was at the door, just watching that, going, And he will. So are we using the black site to get to Unity Station, or are we using the Akundalar?
Alright, you guys need to talk among yourself for a minute, Bareback.
Were you asking that in character or out of character?
Out of character.
Yeah, we're using the black site.
Okay.
Akundalar is parked inside the black site, along with my ship. So.
Okay.
So yeah, Cornix will show up.
Hello, Cornix. Like
We
my
have-
new toy, she says, twirling a side double scythe.
Quite impressive. You should be informed. We have a new member
Alright.
of our forces.
I'm gonna have to step away for a few minutes, so if you want to take a break right now,
Sure.
I have to help Mother real quick.
We can take a break. We will be back in just a couple minutes. Bye-bye. And we're back. We're
All
back
right.
from our break.
Slightly briefer than usual break. And slightly earlier than usual. All right. So,
Yeah.
right. We left off with
Cornix
the
arriving at the bridge.
Cornix arriving at the bridge. All right. So yeah, you just showed up.
Yep.
Ah, and who would this new member of your crew be?
The devil.
Verasan, a
I'm not.
relic from the Aeon of Strife, no
Oh.
less. Having been placed in stasis for the better part of 3 millennia.
Fascinating.
I found him in a closet.
And how
Almost
precisely?
literally.
And how precisely did he get into said closet?
Apparently, he was an acquisition while still stasis bound by the Sons of Creation.
I would very much like to meet this Verasan, you said?
Indeed. He is currently familiarizing himself with our ship. I'm certain we can arrange for you to interact with him.
Certainly. In the meantime, and I'll look over, is there anybody on the bridge that's particularly looking like through the inventory or through acquisition logs, not just trying to get the ship moving?
There's a couple of people. Yeah.
Are any on my crew, or are they all? Are they members of?
They're
Squads?
almost all on your crew
Yeah, I just
because
want to make sure it wasn't like
freaking-
one of the people of the.
Taskforce Whiskey. No, it's mostly your crew.
Right.
I mean,
I'll reach over and
shit
I'll
has been inventoried. I just want
reach
to point
over
that out.
mentally. I mean, yeah, but I don't think you coordinated with any of my crew, did you?
No,
There you go.
because nobody told me that your crew gets shit, and they don't unless I find out.
Oh, you there, and I'll bring them. Sort of mentally wave them over. I'd like you to go through the acquisition logs of this ship and see if you can determine where they managed to pick up and how long ago they managed to pick up a prisoner. And I'll look over at Cornix. Where exactly was he kept?
He provided the coordinates to our adjutant.
I mean, on the ship.
I'll name whichever sub-level I found him on.
Yeah.
Pass that along. Basically, I want them to look through the logs and see what the black site has in particular to say about their acquisition of that
Cross-reference
particular
with
person.
records of storage locker
Whatever,
Zeta B2. Right.
Yes, while I have back to Cornix, while I have no doubt that our friend knows where he went into stasis, I somewhat doubt that that's the only place he's been between there and here. So, perhaps they have others of our kind elsewhere in stasis.
Which reminds me. Stone. Have we acquired detailed information on the locations of the other black sites and hopefully some level of confirmation codes that will allow us access to them once we arrive?
Oh, I've got a way in. It's not going to be pretty, though.
But will it be fun?
That's the question you ask.
I could. It's been so long, I don't even know what fun is anymore.
Ask your friend Zaxathras. He can explain it to you thoroughly.
I'm sure. But it's certainly going to be interesting.
God damn it, Jeremy.
I do what I can.
Well then, shall we have a meeting? I think that's something you Terrans like to do quite often.
Yes, but first, and he reaches over and slams a button. And there's a lurch on the ship. Everyone in Protoss feel this almost anyone who wasn't sitting down or strapped into something feels like we're going to ludicrous speed.
Going to ludicrous speed.
Rachel is on the floor down in the cargo bay.
Hopefully the fire bat suit didn't fall on top of her.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. We don't know.
Wham!
No, it probably landed next to you. You probably managed to roll out of the way.
Shouted into the ether of the ship. Who the fuck niblets made me spill my drink?
Delicate medical equipment. What?
Meanwhile, those of us with magnetic boots on, just
Yeah, those of you with mag boots successfully secured to the floor, just
Yep.
as everything lurches for a minute.
I was still in my power suit, but that does not help drink from being not spilled.
I mean, not to mention, if your feet were kicked up on the table, your mag boots
True.
might not have been hooked to the ground, so you might have fallen over.
Which would have made it even more awkward. Boom!
Oh,
I can't stand up using just my ankles.
I pull up the console again on my crystalline computer array, and send another message back to the Akundalar. We've taken off for hyperspace.
Vera's voice comes over the ship, and we've taken off in a hyperspace jump.
Oswald, through that comm, says, "No shit."
The comm reading comes back. Response from the Akundalar: "No shit." She has a personality matrix. She can convey that perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll indicate it over to Cornix. I think you might need to train your crew to be a little bit more civil.
We are so professional.
You can fuck right off.
Appears to be a Terran
We've
cultural
got-
idiom to reference excretions in a variety of contexts.
Yes.
As to whether it is socially appropriate or not, given the various circumstances through which one encounters such terminology, we are still running studies.
I
We're
know
just
that-
trying to figure out what the shit means in language.
I know that the Terrans of my crew have been curtailed in their more crude habits, and I'll send just a mental flick to one of the Terrans in the room, like so that they know I'm paying attention to them.
There's this slight grumbling under the breath, but nothing major.
Yep. Cornix just gives you a very level look and then walks out of the room. Because, goddammit, I'm a Nerazim. We're the independent bastards of the Terran.
Oh,
of the Protoss.
and by this point you've seen that there are Nerazim among my supplicants.
Yeah. He is not impressed.
A short while later, an amount of time passes, and there's a similar lurch, but you're all more prepared for it this time around. As the black site comes out of hyperspace, you note that an object this large has a lot more forceful impact entering and leaving hyperspace than, say, the Akundalar, which is just a small cruiser, compared to a flying fortress. But it comes out of hyperspace right around the orbit of the Unity Station, and Stone's voice comes over not only Black Site but also Akundalar comms. All right, looks like we've arrived back at the station. Anyone who needs anything from the station should probably go get ready for disembarkment.
Did anybody tell the station that we were coming? Because otherwise, a very hostile. Okay, good. A very hostile-looking, gigantic ship just came out
Just
of
dropped out of
hyperspace.
hyperspace right outside, right on their
Hi
doorstep.
guys.
Yeah, it would have
Ava
been.
did. She also whined a little bit about like murder, but
Yeah, it was definitely. It was definitely a good thing that Ava warned them ahead of time, but
Vernix is going to
Told
go
him ahead
find.
of time, and I also complained about the mass murder we did to get the ship.
Good.
So, and I'll let my crew know that once we land, they can take off and go back to their duties.
All right.
Vernix is going to go find Ava.
The black site sets itself down on Unity Station, very much like a command center setting down, and the members of your agency make their way to their ships.
They're
Tyrek makes it,
specifically not leaving the ship or any of the main places where the useful inventory is stored until they are off the ship.
Man, you must be able to be in a lot of different places.
Oh no,
I mean-
he can only be in one place at a time, but he's going to go then and check all of those places against the inventory he's done.
and also other members of Taskforce Whiskey are in the other places that he can't check at the same time. So
Well, they have orders to leave it alone.
Oswald invited Verisan to the cockpit of the Kundalar while we just waited to disembark and talk during the hyperspace travel. He's recording this whole thing, but yeah, he's talking.
just had a light
Learning about
conversation.
that.
Medbay.
Just had a light
Yeah.
conversation with an ancient relic.
Yeah, just making small talk.
Stop being good at being from our planet. Makes me look bad.
All right, so yeah, and Tyrek makes his way to Unity Station to get any supplies that they needed from his list, and then prepares to take off with the rest of the crew. But the black site lands, and about 5 minutes after it lands, a battalion of Dominion soldiers is entering the ship to sort of scour it, make sure there's nobody left, make sure that they've got everything secured.
Ooh, why aren't they thorough?
Ava's in the med bay.
Okay.
All right.
I'll stroll down to the Akundalar to meet with our ancient Protoss.
How much renown did you get?
For taking the black site,
Yeah.
you said like 25.
The year through honor completing a major quest, it was 50 actually.
Okay.
Oh, well then I was short.
50 honor.
5-0.
I will put another 25 in.
Cool. Ava Sweet, is there anything you require from Unity Station in way of supplies?
I'd like to acquire some additional med packs.
Of course.
Also, we need to make sure Dirk sleeps before any more fights break out. Otherwise, we won't have a member anymore.
Very well. Pull out my communicator. Dirk Garrick, I require you to take 8
Sir?
hours of rest, starting immediately. This is an order. Carry on. Beep.
There's about a 30-second pause as he tries to figure out, and then it hits. Sir.
Yes.
I will be happy to do so once we make sure that everything on the ship is still here and secure.
As long
Very
as
well.
he doesn't start any fights.
Do your best to remain absent from conflict situations then, and then report to your bunk.
I'll try. Can't promise anything. Beep.
So the Dominion forces secure the black site, make sure they got everything off of it. While you guys are resting, Verisan makes his way off of the ship to meet with Artanis and the other members of the Daylom to catch himself up.
Damn it, I was going to
but-
take him to the archivist and have a show and tell.
But Stone comes to meet with the rest of you. And so I found out where we got our ice cube from.
Indeed.
Looks like the Sons of Creation found this tomb that he was talking about and couldn't get their way in past the automated defenses. Looks like this guy was set up as a guardian to keep watch on the facility. They had intended to bring him in and see if they could scan his brain, but looks like he was able to block telepathic entry even while he was in stasis. And they were trying to figure out a way past it when we showed up.
Fascinating.
Damn.
I
With
wouldn't-
any luck, that means they have not pierced the Tomb of Ancients and do not have access to the Xelnaga technology
I should
contained
point
within.
out that's also the current location of Black Site 1.
Well then,
Magnificent.
it sounds like we can handle two birds with one of your human idioms.
You were almost there.
No,
Were
you're
you
not.
trying to make a pun about his name?
I've been practicing so hard.
Oh, yeah. Very well. Have we found a location for Black Site 2? It's been recommended that we attempt to strike both simultaneously.
Yeah, I've got that information headed up to the Dominion. So the current running plan, because Task Force Renegade won't let us just blow up Black Site 1, is that the Dominion's fleet is going to drop in on Black Site 2 around the same time as we're infiltrating our way into Black Site 1. We're going to retrieve the final member of Task Force Renegade, and we're going to blow the drive core.
Excellent.
Well,
What was the morality check thing again?
Willpower or mental training, your choice.
Okay.
blowing the drive core seems so wasteful, though. There's so many goodies on their ship.
Yeah, and there's also a bigger standing army than on this Black Site. So,
Very well.
last time was a
Extraction
natural
and
one.
sabotage
This
it
time's
be.
a natural 20.
Tis a shame. I'm sure there will be efficient enough scrap afterwards.
Yeah, you're welcome to pick through the salvage.
We certainly will.
Out of character. He's gonna kill us all. You other players realize this, right? This
You
isn't
all.
just me.
I've got a thing.
Which he? Because the answer is yes.
I mean, John.
I mean yes, but also William.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, William's
So
job.
we're very aware of this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't alone in understanding that. Okay.
Out of curiosity, wouldn't detonating the drive core of a ship that massive be catastrophic for the ancient Protoss architecture upon which it sits?
Maybe, but it's also not ancient Protoss, it's Xelnaga.
We'll see then. Although, as I recall,
Out of
things
character,
being
do I know what that means?
Xelnaga is the precursor race that came before literally everything else in the Kapulu sector.
Though, as I recall, being Xelnaga didn't stop your James Rayner from thoroughly wrecking various valuable bits of technology in his little crusade.
Actually, I think you'll find that the only Xelnaga tech he really interacted with is still standing, actually, today.
I was thinking the Xelnaga world that they went through and trashed bits of. Anyways,
Ulnar is still there.
Yeah, it is mostly.
Well, in that case, we will resupply and wait for the other coalition forces to be prepared for our assault.
How do I have? Since we're here now, do I have any idea how long it would take to upgrade my sweet sniper rifle now? Basically to give it the twin link trait.
Sure. Make me a science roll.
Attach a second barrel to the already destructive sniper rifle. We'd have to,
Yeah.
you'd have to like,
Jesus.
Double barrel your sniper rifle.
what-
That is such a
What-
scrappy sci-fi westerny thing.
wouldn't you have to like it's a
Welcome
double barrel
to StarCraft.
breech-loaded sniper rifle?
I mean-
wouldn't you have to like buy a second sniper rifle?
Yeah,
I
it
feel
doubles
like
the
that
cost. It depends on what tier it is. So a tier 1 would just be an extra $5,000, which I really hope that the information that I gleaned from my conversations is worth.
I feel
That and the
like
black side of
a double-barreled sniper rifle is
Well-
the most American thing that has ever been thought of.
It's
No,
not American.
ever.
It's space
I would have gone for
American.
3
They use
barrels,
more duct
except
tape.
it's too expensive.
The only thing that it is missing is literally being wrapped in a flag.
No, the bullets actually are painted in red, white, and blue.
There you
So
go.
when they
Perfect.
spin, and there's just one single star right on the tip, and it just boom.
And we've got 50 bullets.
Yeah,
No, it's
I
a, no,
do.
it's a 50 caliber rifle. That's where the 50 is.
yeah.
And if you miss, it explodes into an eagle.
Even
Yeah.
if you hit it, explodes into an eagle.
Yes.
Yeah, yep. And then an
There's
eagle
no-
just claws your face.
Okay.
Yeah, the flash
I
suppressor.
think we just
pops
gave
up
them the
right.
premise for the next Saints Row game.
Because if that
Yes.
use a gun.
There, and the noise that it makes isn't actually a gunshot. When you pull the trigger, it just sounds like somebody's yelling "Freedom!
No,
Freedom!"
no, no, it's not somebody yelling freedom. It is the sound of freedom.
Yeah.
Cry of a bald eagle.
The Liberty Bell?
I speak freedom. What
That's
does freedom
freedom.
sound like? A bald eagle's cry. What are you talking about?
Okay, that was more of a gut-punched crow,
I
but
mean-
we get what you're going for.
Yeah.
I think
They
the
stepped on a
appropriate answer there, from a stereotype standpoint, is the sound of freedom is a bald eagle's O sound.
Overlaid by a crate of tea being thrown into a harbor.
Yes.
All right, so
I want to apologize to everyone who's not American and may be watching us.
And
Yeah.
everybody who's American and maybe watching.
I don't apologize for anything because I'm American.
Correct answer.
gut punch crow is my Eagles cover band.
Sorry.
What do
right.
what do I look like, a Canadian?
All right, so
Uh,
your science roll was not high enough to make any progress on that, unfortunately.
yeah. Well, I wasn't trying to make it myself. I was trying to pay someone to do it, but okay.
Oh, we can
Either
do
way.
that as well. You'll be paying more than the regular price for it, though.
You want me to do it?
I don't know
Unless
how
you-
familiar you are with guns.
I'm familiar with science.
Ava will science that gun into being better, whether it likes it or not.
Science
Thank-
away.
Okay, so
Science
first
lady.
I'm going to be using the Akundalar science table thing that Cornix found out has special properties.
Yeah, use that engineering bay.
I can't wait for the natural one.
I don't remember what, if any, special properties there are, but I just remember that there was something.
Did I tell you guys what it was, and did you write it down?
Yes, you did tell me what it was. I did write it down. Honestly, I think it was only that I can use the tools in there to work on Protoss tech as well as Terran
That might have
tech.
been it, yeah.
Okay.
I believe that was the
So
answer.
it's just a plus 13. Sorry.
Well, mine's a +8, so.
Waiting for... Oh.
You just missed it literally by 1.
Yeah.
Okay, this game hates rolling over like 10 for me.
You rolled an 11.
There was an entire half of the die that I missed.
Yeah, you sure you're not just rolling like a d12?
Yeah.
1d. No.
Unfortunately, you're not familiar enough with the type of weaponry or the thing that he wants to do with it. Do it yourself. You could probably pay someone to do it, but it would probably cost you a lot more than just making it yourself.
Yeah.
And Cornix is going shopping.
I'll go with Cornix.
He's not telling Farazan.
Ava's
I'll just go
going
when he
to
leaves the
get...
ship.
Vazaran, whichever one you are.
Bazaran. I'm just gonna follow you when you leave the ship.
So you
I'm
leave the
gonna
ship
go
and
get
you notice that
medkits.
Valzaran is starting to follow you.
Kind of glance over his shoulder. What do you need?
I've never been on this Unity station. I figured you should show me around.
Very well. He walks straight to the Zerg section.
She follows.
As you're walking, you can see overlords flying in the sky, and there's a small bit of spreading creep on the ground here as you approach the cave system that marks the area where the Zerg make their home underneath Unity Station.
You know all the lovely dating spots.
I'm sorry.
Okay, now you're just leaning into it.
This is not a phenomenon that I have understood. Is this a Terran social construct?
I believe it
that you
is. They've spoken to me on it a couple of times. I understand that that's a phrase they use.
Fascinating. This is where the Zerg contingent of the Swarm, who has taken part in the construction of Unity Station, tends to reside primarily. You will occasionally see members of their race wandering about, but they tend to keep to themselves for the most part. Of course, the Terran sector lies primarily around the docking areas, but I am on my way to acquire some supplies, similar to some of the items that your supplicants brought you, I believe. This way.
Continue following.
Alright, so you make your way over to the forge.
Yep. He's going to be looking for a psionic amplifier. It's factor of 4 that the cost goes up if you want to get a second tier one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, are there any second tier med packs I can purchase?
Yes.
Is there a limit on that?
We're in the final stretch, so I'm gonna say no.
All right.
The answer is no.
Oswald, being disappointed, heads
There's
to the
stuff
Emojin
he's already
consulate.
got covered.
Is there one of these? Is there one of your Templar archives here?
Indeed. I will be stopping by there soon as well.
I have an interest in there.
Excellent.
Alright.
Oh.
So, Oswald, you make your way to the Emojin consulate and walk your way in. As that familiar sort of dour-looking fellow at the front desk just looks up. Oh, I see you've returned, Oswald. What can I do for you?
I mean, it's what I can do for you guys. You should know by now, every time I walk in, I got something good.
Yes, you have had a good record thus far.
So what would you say if I told you that I had recordings of a Protoss from the Aeon of Strife?
I would say bring proof or it didn't happen.
Pixar didn't happen.
No shit, right?
Yeah, he'll pull the little, I guess, SD card, whatever equivalent, out of his face mask and hand it over to him. basically the whole time that they were in hyperspace that he had a conversation with the Protoss.
All right. So he pours over the information for a bit, and you don't see any real facial expression, but you see a bit of an eyebrow twitch as he's looking over this information. And he just kind of reaches under the desk and pulls something and sets a crit stick on the counter.
Is there any way I can check it before I say okay? Yeah, so I'll check it.
It has 7,000 credits on it.
Oh yeah. Pleasure doing business with you. Should be back soon. And I will turn and walk out.
All right.
And go look for the best goddamn gunsmith there is.
How long does it take to load a memory crystal with memories, by the way?
Does it not say in augmentation crystals
I don't think it
or gear?
It just says that you can. It doesn't say how long it takes, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think they give you detailed info on that.
To do so.
As everyone's looking things up very quickly, I am, if not stopped, I am taking 10 credits from the communal stash so I can have lots and lots of awesome med packs.
I'll say it takes like a minute.
Okay.
I was going to say you could add 10 of mine.
After receiving the memory crystal, I would have started loading it with all the memories I have of the Chain of Ascension. And all the information that I had regarding it.
Okay. I would like you to make an intelligence check.
Sweet. Just a flat intelligence roll?
Yeah.
Would leadership perhaps have anything to do with it?
No.
All right.
And
21.
Cornix is looking.
So, if any of that information got into someone who wasn't Tal'Darim's hands, whether or not the information was actually relevant, but the idea of someone willingly giving Tal'Darim's secrets to someone who is not Tal'Darim, Alarak would probably hunt someone down and kill them if you found out.
Never mind then. I was trying to get more money.
Like, just pointing out, leader of the Tal'Darim, not a big capacity for bullshit, especially if he finds out about it.
Yeah, never mind.
So Cornix is trying to find an Uraj fragment, an Argus crystal, and a psionic amplifier.
And you can find them. If you have enough honor for them, go ahead.
Okay, yep, that'd be 100 honor all told, and I've got just over that. So we will requisition those, and then he's going to swing by the archives as well, and pass along to Archivist Aldarin, who's been the one who's interested in the Terran info.
Mhm.
He's going to go to him and ask if there's information. He would like information on an Aeon of Strife discovery that has recently been made.
You approach Archivist Aldarin, and he looks up at you. You say Aeon of Strife.
Indeed.
What kind of discovery?
A living relic might be the best descriptor. There is a Protoss that we have found in stasis named Verisan.
Versan? The Blade of Kas?
Indeed. He has returned to us, and if you would like, I would be happy to send him your way should he have time to spare.
The missing third disciple of Kas himself. It returned to us. It's
The very same.
This is spectacular.
We're quite fortunate to find him and be able to release him from his stasis holdings.
You say you found him where?
As we carried on our official missions for the Dominion, we found him imprisoned in a independent terrorist base. Fortunately able to release him from his confinement before any unpleasantness arose from their acquisition of his person.
This bodes ill, the idea that Terrans could locate some of our ancient sites before we could.
There are many things currently that are disconcerting and fearsome about the capabilities of some of these races, which I believe is why the coalition between us is as important as it is.
Indeed. Still, this information is grand. The find of one of our most ancient members is spectacular.
In that case, I will have him report to you as soon as he is available.
And out of game, you're asking for more honor.
Sure.
I'm next to him and was involved in it.
Yeah, but you're not the one.
I have no idea who this person is.
Oh, you know very well who I am.
Of course I do.
Rescuing captured allies is worth 20 honor. Considering the rarity of this individual, we're going to say 30 honor.
Cool.
Anything else you need?
Nope.
All right.
So what
Not
you're
gonna
saying
drop off
is,
stuff about the Sons of Creation until that's actually.
to claim all the rewards, I have to kill the rest of the crew. Okay.
I mean,
So-
it's like I had said. It's
I
almost
was
like
gonna
I
say
said
Jeremy
something
just
about this
Said this, but
not 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And you all just open the airlock in mid-space flight.
All right. So,
See, this is why we need all the guns.
You can only
No, we just
carry
need the
one of
one if
them.
I can get this upgrade.
Yes, but you know what the nice thing about having a gajillion guns is? You
Is if
never
one
have to
breaks, you-
take time to reload.
Only if they're all already loaded.
Okay, Reaper.
Oh, they are all loaded.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Also, most of those guns were for the black site.
I
They're on
mean,
the black side,
nobody
doesn't mean they're
said
for the black
anything
side.
about that. They are
Also-
on the Akundalar.
the guns are now on board the Akundalar.
We have the best armory ever for a ship of our size.
Pretty much.
Oh, what does this do?
We have guns aplenty. We have swords. We have,
At least one
Explosives.
rocket launcher.
yeah, we have rocket launchers. We have,
A Goliath that my SCV repaired.
Where'd you get
Thanks
an
for that.
SCV?
I'm a pirate queen.
Someone under her command has an SCV.
Yes.
Okay.
we have all the things.
I have a multiracial crew, much like Unity Station, but less ethical and moral.
Well, who needs ethics anyway? Right?
I find they've only gotten in the way.
All right.
If nothing else, I will figure out a way to launch the power suits themselves at you.
If nothing else, I'll just heal people.
Oh, I can already do that.
Yeah,
Pick
that
up
doesn't
power
help
throw.
you.
Right.
All right. So, as you all make your preparations, Oswald, you find your way to Bob's Guns.
Of course, it's Bob. Bob's
Always
so
Bob.
reliable.
Bob is the best gunsmith.
Best
And yeah,
Bob's.
there it
That's
is.
what it's called.
And it's actually called Bob's Guns.
Oh, damn it.
How far away are we from the ship, by the way? Are we
Fortunately,
within
it's
100
right next to
miles?
Bob's Burgers, which is
They're
Yeah.
about 30.
the other store.
So we're within 100 miles, is what you're saying.
Probably, yeah.
Instead of a council of Ricks here, there's a council of Bobs.
All right, so you make your way into Bob's Guns. And there's a gentleman at the front desk who is sort of probably going up in years, but he's got that blacksmith look. He's got the hair pulled back tight with a bandana over the top, the big bushy graying beard. You know, somewhat stockier build, the big broad muscles, but he looks at you as you enter. What can I do for you?
I walk up to the counter, put my sniper rifle on the counter, and say, "What would you think about putting another barrel on this?"
Double your gun, double your fun, huh?
That's right.
Well,
I like
let
Rob
me
already.
Let me see what I can do about this. And he picks the sniper rifle up and starts pouring over it. I'm gonna roll science check for him. Ooh.
Bob's the guy to find.
So every now and then you're hearing screams coming from Dirk's bunk in his sleep.
Oh dear.
No
Poor Dirk.
particular reason.
I don't think I'm getting my rest.
If you are not mechanically getting your rest, I will find some sedatives and make you.
Great. Find something out of character. Find something that can pierce telepathy or that block telepathy.
I actually think in the crew credits we have just enough to get that, but it's not actually legal.
I have 100.
We're not actually legal.
I have a 100-mile radius on my telepathy, and I like to pick on Dirk.
Unfortunately, I
though.
can't justify being aware of that.
No.
He is asleep, so it's not as clear as you're wanting it to be.
Oh,
He's
that's
still
fine.
asleep.
No, it's meant to just be vague whispers in his dreams.
It's not a restful sleep, but you are resting. So.
Okay.
The kind of
And
thing
you're
that when
going-
he wakes up, he'll be very paranoid about certain things.
He's just gonna fucking shoot you. That's all it's gonna be. He's
what
gonna
tier is your-
backlash on you.
What tier is your sniper rifle?
The range?
What tier is it?
Oh, it's just a tier 1.
Okay. Name it. Sniper
This
rifle.
is one that I found.
So running this kind of upgrade for parts and work time, I could probably have it done in a couple of hours, but it's gonna take you 7,500 credits.
Oswald will grab the cred stick that he just got, then hand that over, and that's loaded with all of his other credits too. So now I have 10 credits of personal funds.
So you spent almost all of your money on this?
Yeah, 99.9%.
All right, give me about a couple hours, come back, I'll probably have this gun set up for you.
Many thanks.
And that's a real Southern accent for those of you who are unaware.
That is.
All
He
right.
will go next door to Bob's Burgers and just window shop because he can't afford one. But no, yeah, he'll wait around.
All right. So a couple hours later, you head back, and Bob, well, you assume Bob. You haven't actually gotten his name. You walk back in, and this fellow behind the counter is tooling with a pistol. He's like, you're back. Gun's right there. He points at the wall, and you can see the sniper rifle has added an extra barrel, and it looks almost seamless. Like you can hardly see where it was added on. It almost looks like the gun was manufactured that way. But the extra barrel is sort of underslung right beneath it, and there's the gun itself has been widened a little bit to add the extra firing chamber. And it looks kind of like a cannon now because you've added the extra barrel. It looks a little menacing.
Looks more like a Winchester rifle that grew on steroids.
Yeah, kind of. The way that the Winchesters are sort of a metal rod to stabilize the actual barrel.
Yeah.
Only that metal rod is actually another barrel.
Another barrel. Yep.
And killed demons.
Basically, Torb upgraded his turret.
I have great plans.
Why did you guys beat me to both of those jokes?
Overwatch.
We're just
and
very glad you're on
Supernatural.
the same page as us, Aaron.
Quick
It makes me
on the
feel.
uptake.
It makes me feel very good.
So yeah, that's a thing of beauty. Worth every penny.
Well, glad you like it. I hope you have a good time with your double gun.
Yep. I hope so too. I don't see
gun,
me
double
not
shoot.
smiling anytime I shoot this.
Well, that's our motto. Guns are gonna smile to kill people with.
That's the worst motto in the history
Yeah,
of mottos.
that sounds like something a serial killer would say.
Well, I'm not gonna say Bob was the sanest kind of guy when he opened up the channel.
Yeah. I didn't ask. He made this
Put my
awesome
smile
awesome
over to
thing.
the
I'm not. But yeah, so yeah, I'll walk out and
Bob's guns. We put a smile on your gun.
Comic books.
Somebody took the exact wrong lesson from Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Or he just really liked Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker.
Hmm.
Let's put a smile on that face.
All right. So you got your
Bob's
double
gun.
barrel sniper
See a
rifle.
magic trick.
Yep.
Yes.
That's my line. Want to see a magic trick? Vroom, vroom. And we all return to the ship, presumably.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
so-
return to the ship.
As you make your way to the ship, you all get a day to rest.
Awesome.
So you all get the equivalent of a long rest. You get your healing thresholds back, you get your hit points back, you get your exhaustion removed, etc., etc.
Cornix is going to ask Vazaran if she wants to spar.
Why, certainly. One always loves to stretch one's limbs.
Break in a new weapon, as it were.
That too.
All right.
I ignite the double size, the double size scythe.
The double scythe?
Side double sight.
Side double scythe. There it is.
Life
So
eye?
these two crimson red blades erupt from either end, going in reverse directions as she holds up this long black iron shaft. I desperately want to see what this will do to a person.
I know that
Or-
feeling.
Cornix will ignite his spear. Whereas before it was just a very broad, long blade of green energy. The energy has gone much paler now, and there are actually wisps of flame coming off of it. Cause you Raj crystals are fucking awesome. But he will, of course, be pulling all of these blows and not actually striking for flesh.
Yes, Vazaran will be as well.
Okay. Oh, good.
Something about the way you say that makes me not quite believe you.
I mean, just enough so that it penetrates the shield, but not
Right.
further.
Oh, yeah, no. Shield strikes are fine.
Because Bane blades don't care about shields.
Right.
All right, go ahead and attack each other if you feel like it.
Yep. Hang on, I don't have my scythe programmed in yet, so I have to manually do it. What's the attack speed on slow?
You literally only get one attack unless you take swift strikes, I think, and have enough agility.
I do have plenty of agility,
And that's good.
but I don't know if it's encounter rules, actions, attack speed, slow, 1 strike per round. Okay.
Yep.
In that case, we're gonna heavy strike. Having to find details. Because everything... There it is. Okay. Yeah, okay. So...
It is the double scythe. You have to take the talent to let you strike with both ends during a turn, right? Or is it?
Don't know.
Okay. Well,
I believe it.
that.
It basically just qualifies as also a defensive weapon.
Yeah, it also qualifies as a defensive weapon. I don't think I can do 2 attacks with it.
Not a defensive weapon, a double weapon.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the defensive trait.
Yeah, double weapon. When the character has a weapon with this trait drawn out and drawn, they perform the bob and weave action. They add the weapon's accuracy bonus to their defense against melee attacks.
Cool.
Which is interesting because this weapon doesn't have an accuracy bonus. So,
Unless you tier it up, then
yeah,
it will.
that I didn't have the renown or honor to do that. Because it would have cost more than I had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh well. Does a 27 hit you?
Yes, it do.
Yeah.
Does a 37 hit you?
Yes.
Awesome.
So we're just... But where your 37 hits me and then hits my shields and does not take my shields down, mine just goes right through your shields.
Mm-hmm.
As if they weren't there.
Just swoosh, like a knife through butter when the butter is gone.
Like the butter is gone.
Like a knife through butter that no longer exists.
Right.
Like a knife through air where butter once was.
Yep.
An 11, however, misses.
A 21 hit you?
Not bobbing and weaving, so yes.
Nice. So yeah, probably do that for like an hour.
Yeah, just going back and forth, probably in the cargo bay, dancing around like poker.
Yeah, the two of you spar for a while. But at the end of your day of rest, you do get a message from the council from Admiral Horner in the comm room.
Okay.
I'll be there.
And so at least one of you goes to take it.
Same. Yes. No.
I mean,
Cortex will
I'm
be all
assuming
over that.
I'm still asleep.
I mean, this is almost a day later, so you've probably woken up by now.
Okay. He's not leaving his room.
Yeah, Yes, you were only ordered to take 8 hours of rest. What you do with your ensuing time is entirely at your own discretion.
Yeah, but I'm figuring that gets extended out at least to 12
Oh yeah,
to
probably.
account so that I actually have a healing threshold while being fucked with.
Once you wake up, it stops.
Oh, well, that's all better.
Yeah.
All right. So you go to take the call, and Admiral Horner's face appears on the screen. Taskforce Echo. It's good to see you.
Admiral?
So we've got coordinates for the remaining 2 black sites and a plan to move forward.
Excellent. We are at your disposal.
You, Taskforce Echo, will be infiltrating Black Site 1 to retrieve the final missing member of current Task Force Renegade. After that, you are free to do what you will with the Black Site so long as it is destroyed. With that area is rumored to be the current base of the leader Rasputin, and so we do not take any caution, we don't take any risks with that place. Blow it sky high.
Understood.
Do you want proof of this Rasputin's death?
Honestly, I don't know if I believe proof of Rasputin's death.
Well, then we'll be sure to return with a limb. Preferably an important one, like the head.
Nuke it from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
The head is not a limb. The head is an appendage.
I'm still
Great,
having
so for the
Cornix
win.
makes no evaluation or comment on this discussion, but just looks at Ava for confirmation.
I'm still coming to terms with your Terran language.
Ava, do you
Rachel
get confirmation?
didn't say that out loud. She's probably still avoiding whoever. But
Ava is pointedly reading her book.
Ooh, what book is it?
yeah, what book is it? It's all you do is read that book. Is it got sexy scenes in it?
None of you know it's on a data pad.
Oh, there are definitely sexy scenes in it.
All the
No,
sexy
there
scenes.
really aren't. No, actually,
Well, that
like,
didn't sound convincing at all.
Ava reads nothing but fanfic.
All the sexy scenes.
I mean, I suppose the Leviathan could be interpreted as fan fiction, but not the kind you're thinking of.
But anyway, Horner continues. Just be careful in there as well. We don't know what's going to come up against you, and we don't know what you're going to be facing. If you can, you might want to try and see if you can get anything out of that Zelnaga temple while you're there. You might find something that you can use.
Oh, trust me, Admiral. That was definitely on our plan.
In the meantime, Task Force Whiskey and a fleet of battlecruisers will be taking out Black Site 2. That one's going to be more forceful. We know that there's nothing there that we need to hold on to. That one's going to be a battle.
Understood. And Task Force Renegade, where will they be deployed?
You hear a door slide open as several individuals shuffle into the door behind you. Task Force Renegade is going to be going with you, I'm afraid, as Richter steps into the room.
Excellent.
Oh, the more the merrier.
Yes, well, we did sort of start this whole thing, and it would be remiss if we didn't see it finished. Besides, we got one final crewmate to get back.
Which one would that be?
The former captain of this vessel.
Oh, he must be very important then.
No, we all hated him.
Not that former captain.
Previous.
Yeah, not that former captain.
Oh.
Former captain.
My apologies. Apparently, we did not hate that one.
We did not know that
Looks
one.
over, gets back to reading her book.
Tell me when you get to a good sexy scene.
Well then,
I have,
shall we
I have-
away?
I have 2 words for Rachel: galloping abs. You'll thank me later.
Well then,
But Horn looks at the rest of you. This is going to be a dangerous mission, and there's a good chance that some of you might not make it back out alive. But you've all done the project proud, and today, I think if anyone can make it through this, it's you.
as
good
Dirk
luck, Tim.
bites into something right next to the mic.
I would expect Dirk to just be like, chips.
Yeah, big mouthful of chips. Just
I mean, it was a
We
nice,
totally-
solid crunch sound too. It was
Yeah.
great. It was like studio quality crunching.
Yep. That
You
was
should-
that was some top-notch Foley art there,
You should
sir.
you should be a Foley artist, Jeremy.
now he's choking because he's trying not to laugh.
Are we-
Well,
are
we
gonna-
might die today. Better eat these chips.
Okay, Jeremy might die for real. Let's quick! Someone perform the Heimlich maneuver.
Apparently, Rachel is rubbing off on Dirk.
Rachel
Jesus
would
Christ! you
Rachel
get-
would never
Ultimate
eat
team
chips
up,
in a
chips
moment
and
like
sandwiches.
this.
You get behind him and put your hands on his abdomen and performs the Heimlich maneuver.
I repeat,
More of a
Dirk
gesture.
has not left his room.
Oh God, I don't
course
want
not.
to know. What
Where do you think he found the chips?
It's a maneuver. more of a gesture. More of a gesture. Suggestion, really.
The Heimlich suggestion. You know, Dr. Heimlich says you should probably choke less.
I literally thought I hadn't said something along those. I thought I was muted because I'd been. Apparently, I was not.
Oh, it was
It
a
was
nice.
perfect timing, I'm going to be honest.
It was a nice. It was just really, really nice, solid chipping right there.
You might not make it out.
I'm just picturing Dirk with like a pickle in the background. What?
What's that he said?
But I appreciate the work that all of you have done for the task force, and I look forward to working with you in the future on your eventual survival. So good luck, good hunting. Admiral Horner out.
Well, I
Bring
hope.
Whistling.
Well, I hope none of you disappoint that man. He seems to be genuinely honest.
They always do until they're not.
Man, Rachel should start a religion. With wisdom like that, man.
Right?
Today
The
we will be.
religion of the faith of the sandwich. She can convert a whole bunch of Protoss and Zerg. And
We don't eat sandwiches.
No Zerg. They were not interested in my sandwiches.
First National Sandwich Church. Of course.
they're rivals of the Flying Spaghetti Monster faith.
No, they will have a split off religion: crust or no crust.
And yet, all those who remove the crust from their
Sorry,
sandwich
William's
be
giving
burned
us
at the
that. We
stake
should
as a
get to
heathen.
This is devolved.
Rachel just
Very
wants y'all to
quickly.
find
What
this
was
boy
your
and leave her
What
the
was
hell
your
alone.
first clue?
That we were
The
playing
part
today.
where I started Googling Hobbs on sex because I genuinely did not remember.
And
You think that's bad? I googled
I really
do
hope
bald
you had the
eagles
safe search on.
orgasm.
and what was
That's
his
what I
stance?
googled.
Hobbs on.
Share with the rest of the class.
Preferably on both.
So Hobbs's views on sex were
damn it.
based on Hobbs's overall view of things as coming from this naturalness and not natural primalness.
Suddenly, the Akundalar suffers a fatal drive rupture.
Hey, everyone is
And
not
our
And
Protoss.
absolutely
molecules
no
are
one
scattered
actually
across
cares.
the sector.
Alright.
Apologize to any actual Hobbsians I'm totally making fun of with this character.
Alright, so the group of you gather your weapons and arms and provisions and prepare to move to the coordinates of Black Site 1. As Verasan returns, you notice that he has been re-outfitted with more modern equipment. His gear has been upgraded to Tier 2 Protoss Imperial Power Armor. He has a pair of side blades on his wrist, but he also has a Sai sword, which is it looks almost like the striped greatsword he wielded, but there's a thinner line of metal in the center that forms a blade of Sai energy as he grasps it.
I kill him and take his gear.
Do you take the gear?
What? All my gear is Tier 1, so...
Timely.
Yeah, well, you're not a figure of legendary importance, now are you?
Yes, I am. I'm a Tal'Darim. We're all figures of legendary importance.
In our own
GM,
minds.
is that true?
No.
We
In
all,
their own heads, maybe.
we all consider ourselves figures of legendary importance.
Yes, that
No.
was at least all the ones that aren't at the bottom of the chain.
All right, focus. We're going to a
Yep.
place.
Yep,
Yes.
we're going to a place.
So you take off in orbit, and you hit the warp drive and make your way to the coordinates that you were given. You arrive at a green, lush planet that has been completely grown over. There's like almost no sign that civilization was ever here, but you do know that there is at least one Zelnaga temple hidden somewhere on its surface. Immediately, Operative Lawson starts giving a scan of the planet. He talks to Vera, and the Equindalar starts scanning the planet properly.
Who's Operative Lawson?
Nightfall, the ghost.
Yeah. Oh,
I needed it explained because I didn't know.
good for him.
Joshua Lawson.
I'm just waiting to kill things.
Okay, so
Getting increasingly bored as I wait.
after a moment of scanning, Vera speaks up. Well, I've got a location for you. I think I found your temple. I've also found your black site, and well, you're going to want to see this.
I'll go
and
see it.
A
Yeah.
3D image shows up in the comm room of the black site itself, and it's just a sort of rotating 3D image. It looks very similar, but it's got sort of the spectrum outlining of the layout you know. And from the area where you know the drive core should be, there is this massive purple glow that is sort of illuminating the entire facility.
Someone's
Their drive
partaking.
core is operating at about 10,000% efficiency.
I feel like if we blow that up, we'll take the whole planet with us.
There's something powering it that is beyond anything we could normally expect out of a power source.
Can I try and like psi sense that?
Me too.
Go ahead and roll me a psionics roll. This isn't going to be a manifest. Roll me a psionics skill check.
Just a psionic skill check? Okay.
Psionics skill check.
Just to check, how long did it take us to get here?
Like 30 minutes.
Okay, duly noted.
24 on the psionics.
26.
Well done, Vazaran.
I got an 8.
So as the two of you try and extend your minds out to try and get a sense of what is near that area, there's this slow growing and both of you end up reeling back in pain as the scream rushes through your heads.
Thought blocking?
Yep.
Just nope.
We're just gonna try and wall that little segment off.
It doesn't help, actually.
Okay.
Now that you're aware of it, it echoes for a good minute in your brain before you manage to actually get your senses together and block it out properly.
Just like the two Protoss sort of just stand there and stare for a minute.
Oh wait, I have advantage on that.
Bottom thing starts twitching.
We have
Like
no
it-
mouth and we must scream.
Like if Protoss had noses, they would both have heavy nosebleeds right now.
Right.
I'm assuming with the 31, I generally know what may have caused this.
Some kind of heavy mental backlash just stunned them.
I cannot wait to get my hands on whatever that is and force feed it its own entrails.
Rasputin?
Now,
You ever
I
thought
have-
about like going to a spa? Because that's real dark.
Roll me.
I was going to say, I have seen Ravenhall actually talking on recordings. Does it sound like him?
Roll me an influence.
Okay.
Me or him?
Him.
I feel like a nice spa would help you relax and mayhaps forget about
Or actually,
entrails.
perception is
Oh
sense
no.
motive.
Sorry, you said influence or perception?
Perception, because that's the sense motive thing.
Okay.
I'm not certain what this spa of yours is, but unless it's decorated with the blood and bones of my enemies, I'm not particularly interested right now.
That would be an interesting scheme for a decorating company to pursue.
24.
One, it sounded like a scream of pain more than anything else, and two,
Right.
yes, it sounded like Ravenhall.
Mm-hmm. Actually, Vazaran, I believe we have found the first evidence that our extraction target is definitely here.
Should I inform Task Force Renegade?
Are they elsewhere, or are they standing right there
They're
with
still
us?
they're still right there
Oh.
with you.
Okay.
Never mind.
No, it's fine.
I thought they were in the ship with
No,
the other
They're in the conference
task
with you.
force worth of people.
Well then, let's go in there, blow shit up, and get him out.
Your captain, Shauna Briggs, is seemingly being tortured by some means.
We
Likely
really,
to the end of powering this structure.
we really got to
I
teach
guess.
y'all how to deliver bad news, because that ain't it.
There's a way to
This is-
deliver information other than simply saying it.
Yeah. Yeah,
This is
there
simply
is.
an analysis of the tactical situation at hand. Rachel.
Right. Right.
I'm also picking up a defensive fleet. Vera says as she highlights the images of several different flying vessels surrounding the black site.
Well, I believe we have a toy in the cargo bay that is designed to deal with flying vessels, don't we?
Yes, but the Goliath would need to be deployed ground side at some point. We can't really fire off those missile batteries while it's in our cargo bay now, can we?
I have no idea how your Terran technology works.
Insight check or
Not with that attitude.
Sure.
That'd be perception, yes.
Why
Against
did-
your influence.
Why did we end up with her again anyway?
She's not hiding anything, so. She genuinely doesn't know. She has people for that.
Is there? So
And that's kind of the base of what you pick up, Abe, is that she is so far removed from the rest of her group that she really doesn't even know what Terran tech is. She just tells someone else to work it, and they work it.
Because I'm not going to say she's awful, but she's awful.
So we're in the black site right now.
No, you're in orbit above the planet right now.
Okay.
Yeah, they may. I mean, they've probably got us on scopes, but they haven't really tagged us yet, per se. That will probably change.
And
Well,
Well,
if they have
that's
a
the plan.
hostile defensive fleet of ships, I would recommend we field our anti-air units as quickly as possible.
Does
Shauna
this,
Briggs, I
would-
assume your ship is along for the ride.
Does this ship
Yeah.
not go invisible?
No.
Do we have cloaking abilities for the Akundalar? Unfortunately not.
Seems like an oversight.
Like I said,
Not so much an oversight, simply a lack of resources and funding at this point.
not gonna
That
say
would've-
she's terrible, but she's terrible.
Are you saying you don't have faith in my skills as a pilot to avoid getting shot? That wounds me.
I mean, no one was saying it, but some of us might have been thinking
Do
it.
any of you... Has Coronix explained to any of you what Akundalar means?
I am
I'm
familiar with the term.
I'm pretty sure it's that thing where you meet a guy in an alley for shifty stuff, and then he just sells you tickets to a chicken fight.
The Akundalar...
that right?
Oh
No,
my
it's not.
god.
That was great.
The Akundalar is
Wow.
the tip of the spear.
Wow, Sarah. Fucking wow.
I'm just gonna move right past it.
Yeah. See, this is the part where you let your improv partners feel good and look good.
Yes, and
The Akundalar is the tip of the spear, a title given to those Protoss warriors brave enough to be the first in battle. Also
Wait-
often the first to die.
Wait, our ship
I'm
is
so
even named
sad
after
I'm
these
familiar
mouthless
with the term.
assholes.
I would assume.
Stefan approved the name.
Well then, let us live up to the Akundalar.
Yeah, but all that stuff about the spear part, right? And not the dying first part.
Every aspect of it.
Like I said, I'm not saying she's terrible, but she's terrible.
Third time's the charm.
Yeah, comedies in threes, right, guys?
Yep. Well done. Well done indeed.
So,
Just
So,
pick
who's-
up Crash Thoughts.
Richter kind of looks over the readout. Well, this is looking more and more like a suicide mission, isn't it?
Jesus!
I would prefer not.
Does no one know how to talk nicely?
I mean, we kind of don't have
They
the time
sent
for
a
it.
few
Adjutant
task
Vera.
forces to take down a large, well-defended base. Yes, this is a suicide mission.
Adjutant Vera, is it possible to approach the Tomb of Ancients without risking too much discovery, given the current deployment of the battlefield?
Currently, I'd have to say you'd have to approach from the other side of the planet and approach from within atmosphere. They are positioned to one side of the temple, which means if you could come in from the opposite side, they might not notice you, but you couldn't come in directly above without any of them spotting you.
What's the floor of their scopes? What's the lowest? What's the highest that we can fly without being detected?
60 feet off the ground.
Verasan is here, isn't he?
Or 600 feet, rather. Yeah, he's in the room.
I'll look over. Ancient One, were you alone in guarding that temple, or were there others?
I was identified as the lone caretaker of this facility, as it was housed with powerful automated defenses that would oversee it in my absence.
Is there any... Do you happen to know how to direct
Bypass
those automated defenses?
I do indeed, but I would need to get within the temple.
Well, why don't we approach the temple, get our friend inside, and see if we can't use its defenses to our advantage?
Precisely my plan.
They're here for
I'm
it,
glad
after
you
all.
communicated it so succinctly. Well done.
Thank
Was
you.
it really, Cornix? Was it really your
was.
plan? Or are you just trying to make yourself look good?
There was one other warrior in stasis, other than myself, but he was to be awakened as a last resort.
Well, perhaps it is time for that last resort.
I think so.
Pilot Oswald Ridley, if you would take direction from and work alongside Adjutant Vera to determine and plot the best course of approach, we will take the temple.
All right. I'll walk up to the cockpit and suggest that everybody straps in because this is going to be fun.
I activate my mag boots.
Yeah.
All right.
Sitting down, activating mag boots.
All of you move to combat positions. Most of you end up leaving the. How many of you decide you want to stay in the comm room?
I'm going to go to the cargo bay and just pace with my scythe out and on.
I'm just assuming
Cornix is
that
staying in the comms room for tactical purposes.
I
gonna
am
sit
still
in
in
my,
my
Firebat
room.
suit.
I'm gonna
Because
sit
nobody
on
has
Dirk
gotten
at
me
this
yet.
point.
And I'm going to link my communication array with the ship so that I can pass my field of view on to where Cornix is, so he can see if something happens in the cargo bay.
I will be sitting in the Firebat, not thinking about what I would like to do to the woman pacing on the floor. Pointedly.
Welcome to
so
try.
then-
As the ship begins to move into the atmosphere, Cornix, as you're sitting in the corner of the room, just watching the rest of Task Force Renegade, as they're the only ones still remaining in the comms room, they have sort of a brief conversation. It's as they're all looking over this schematic. Dr. Rayana speaks up first. You know, this is the first time that we've all been back on this ship in quite some time. Richter speaks up. Yes, in fact, well, I hate to say it, but there are some good memories on this ship.
Oh my god, if they're gonna form Voltron right now, I'm gonna freak the fuck out.
I thought they were gonna, couple
I
up.
thought they were gonna all start having sex.
That's what I said, but I said it nicer.
Isn't that what I said?
Yes.
Oh my god, is
forming
Voltron
You're
code
thinking
for
of
sex?
Aquarion.
They gon' fuck.
You are form arms and legs, form head and body.
The captain and his penchant for songs and all the time that we spent here, it wasn't the worst experience. Certainly helped alleviate some of the stress of being one of the infested. Shauna, yes, and the experiments that I've managed to get up to here were some of the finest works of my life. It's been quite some time. And Lawson actually is the one that speaks up. And there were quite a few nights of wondering whether or not we were going to live to see the next dawn.
Here's another one.
Jesus.
There's this low hum that sort of picks up first in Richter's throat as they sort of pick up a tune that's been lost for the years of them being separated, and it sort of carries a low song as they circle the table, just looking over the base for one last mission. We should die tonight. We should all die together. Raise a glass of wine for the last time. And they sort of pick up this slow song as Cornix, you don't know enough about Terran history to know I See Fire, but
Right. Yes.
they work their way through most of I See Fire as they sort of prepare for what might be the final mission of their lives.
Meanwhile, down in the cargo bay, Rachel randomly explodes. We're not sure why.
She's thinking about taking you to a nice dinner in a fancy restaurant. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I'm
And
sure we would enjoy it very much.
and the
Yeah, because you don't
after
have a mouth. I could eat all the dessert.
about 30 seconds into the song starting, it starts to play over the comm system of the ship as Vera picks it up.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that's gonna help my state of mind.
The,
Thank you.
I mute it in the cockpit.
You start hearing.
It can play everywhere else, but I mute it in the cockpit.
You start hearing.
Need to focus, God damn it!
Start hearing Ed Sheeran's "I See Fire."
Meanwhile, in the cargo bay.
I was gonna try and check on Dirk.
I don't know what that is, and I really don't care. Can I get to killing something?
You know, if we got to put up with your bad attitude, this is gonna go much harder for all of us.
I have
Just listen
no
to the-
idea what you're talking about.
Just listen to the damn song, lady.
You're a very grumpy person. You should relax, find some fun, enjoy your life.
Rachel begins thinking of all the things that a flamethrower can do to someone while they're at a lovely dinner together.
And it's like over as Oswald is flying in, just over the comms. Watch the flames burn over on the mountainside. As you crest through the atmosphere and bring the ship. Roll me a pilot check.
Crash into the mountains to end the song.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I think I threatened to do
As
that
the
for something
flames,
else.
Let
wham!
it go, let it go.
Oh yeah, just blow the power core right at that.
Let it
I'm
go.
not gonna risk missing a mountain. Make sure I got everything right.
Natural one. Natural one.
Yeah, if you TPK us, this fight becomes so much easier.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, it would.
Because that would eliminate my issue of finding Teddy.
22.
That's all
With a
I'm really
7.
all I'm really here to do, so
Wasn't
All right. So, yeah, you bring the ship cresting down just at the right height, and you manage to land it right down on the opposite side of the temple, and you set the ship down quietly, and you're pretty certain they haven't noticed you.
Okay.
Once there's that lurch of the Akundalar making contact with the ground surface, Koronix is like a blur down into the cargo bay, pound the door. The ramp is like probably about 25% of the way open, and he is already out and going.
All right.
Yep. Moving on.
Yeah, while we were flying down, if Shauna stopped singing, I was gonna ask her if
I mean,
she
it was the entire group of them sharing a
Yeah.
song. So.
Yeah. But
Gross.
she's the other pilot, so I was gonna ask if she's using the Goliath or if I get to have fun too.
She has
Take
a
the
ghost.
Goliath. Take the Goliath. I have something else to pilot.
Oh yeah, that's right. She's got her.
Your
Thor.
fucking sweet ass Thor and/or Wraith, whichever one she wants.
Yeah. So yeah, as soon as we touch down, I'm heading to the Goliath.
So yeah, when I step out of the cargo bay, is the temple immediately apparent, or do we have a bit of ways to go to it? Am I muted? No, I'm not muted.
No,
You're not muted.
Nope.
We're just waiting on a response while the
we're just
DM
considering it. It's an existential trouble here.
sorry.
Mm.
There's probably something being looked up by the GM.
Yeah.
Ava's
Sorry,
still trying to knock
Yeah,
on Dirk's door.
As you guys rush the temple, Dirk is still in his room.
Ava's been
Ava
trying to get you.
is there trying to knock on
Yeah,
your
like-
door,
like-
as I said.
We've been getting cut off, but it's like 10
Surprise
minutes ago,
ending.
Ava-
Dirk is
To
dead.
the best of my knowledge, he has
Dirk took
no
some
idea what the
painkillers.
plan is.
Yeah. So
No, but that's why I was
Dirk-
going to his room as we
Right.
were.
yeah,
and
like
then
Ava
other
was heading to
things
your room
kept
as you were Ava was coming to your room as you were pulling in doors.
Okay.
So
Dirk, did you end it
stepping
all?
back to that point.
Did you end it all before the battle?
Yeah,
No.
please tell
You
me Dirk
said-
did not Hemingway on his shotgun.
There's no shame in
He's
this.
just sitting in his room.
Okay.
Knock,
Yeah, like
knock.
as the ship is coming into orbit, Ava knocks on your door.
Yep.
We're suiting up.
Oh. Where are we?
Black Site 1.
Oh, okay.
The one with Ravenhall.
And to answer no, the kids
We're
were also on Black Site
activating
1.
ancient precursor defenses to hopefully do... I'm not actually certain what. And... we're going to blow up the ship, but also rescue Ravenhall. Maybe. There's some dueling motivations.
I'm supposed to shoot shit?
Yes.
I'm coming. He gets in his armor and grabs his guns and heads out.
I don't know. It would have been kind of funny for Dirk to just Bronma the entire final mission.
I mean, that would have been kind of amazing. I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of why I didn't say anything,
because I wanted to. I had repeatedly said that I was going to check on Dirk.
I don't understand that reference.
It would have been great if, like, there's a TPK and Dirk is the sole survivor, because it would have fit with his character history.
So very well. So fucking very well.
Unfortunately, now Dirk's going to be the first to die, so.
Hey, Akundalar.
First in, first dead. That's what
he
it means.
doesn't know that. He wasn't there for that charming speech.
It's true, he wasn't.
But yeah, once Koronix makes it outside, he's just securing the landing zone. He's not pushing forward or anything. He's just trying to make sure we're not immediately going to get swarmed as soon as we get out here.
And
for the temple.
As Verisan steps out, he just kind of looks up at the sky and closes his eyes and makes that motion that you would expect of someone, of a Terran, like taking in a breath of fresh air. But, he doesn't breathe the traditional way.
Right. Which is to say, at all.
As I see him doing that, I'm just going to echo over to just between the three Protoss in the area. A far more serious than she normally is statement. Undara Manakai.
Kinala Atum.
And Verisan, gets into almost a runner's crouch as he puts his hand on the ground. I am a Kundala, the tip of the spear. And he rushes forward towards the temple.
Following. Blade out.
Quick side broadcast to everybody who's still on the ship. We are proceeding to the temple. Follow as stealthily as you can. Yep.
Clunk, clunk, clunk.
3 armored Protoss are far quieter than the armored Terrans.
And Koronix is right on Vazaran's heels.
So we have spear, we have
So
Psy Sword,
stealth
Psy Scythe, and Psy Spear.
before
out
the
at right.
Protoss do too much bragging about how stealthy they are.
We don't have penalties.
They can brag all they want.
Are we
Doesn't-
stealthing
All right.
or are we just running?
Doesn't mean anything.
If you want to stealth, you can stealth.
Does it look like Vaseron is stealthing?
I was
Vasaran,
told to stealth, so 17.
Verisan.
Verisan is just sprinting.
Yeah, I'm sprinting behind him.
Captain said stealth.
Yeah. I mean, I can't really stealth in a Goliath, but I'll try.
Wait, which one is our captain again?
I am.
Oh
Green
yeah,
one.
I forgot. What?
We're color coded for your convenience: green, red, and blue.
It's true.
Rachel is
really are.
colorblind.
So 2 of us are color coded for your convenience.
She's colorblind. She can't tell Vazaran and me apart. Red, green, they look the same.
So
All y'all look the same to me.
Dirk intends to be stealthy
That's my
until he
stealth,
takes
by the
his
way.
first step. And
Okay.
since he rolled a natural 2, which makes it a total of 5, he just starts yelling and chasing after in Dirk style.
Okay, then I'm gonna abandon my own attempt at stealth because I'm coming out with Dirk.
Time for weapons!
What does Dirk walking sound like? It sounds like die, motherfucker, die, motherfucker, die, motherfucker, die.
No, more like, which way am I
How long
going?
has it taken us to get down the ramp in terms of out of game time?
How far did you get away from the ship before you started breaking stealth, or just out of game? How long did it take you to get off the ship?
No, I mean out of game. We
off
took like
the ramp.
not quite half an hour to get
Out of the ship.
basically
In terms of
3
actual
minutes
playtime,
It's been about
getting
20
off the ship
minutes.
took us half an hour.
It's been about 20 minutes.
Okay.
And for
Anyway.
the
So you
Dirk
bolt
running
your
does
way.
not sound like that. Dirk running sounds like Sylvester Stallone in Rambo, that bellow he does without needing to take a breath. Ever.
Oh, you mean the bellow cut? It's like you were yelling, so in this scene you're still yelling,
Yes.
even though it's been like 15 minutes since you started yelling.
Yes.
Just forever.
All right.
All right. So yeah, you sprint your way through the forest, moving as fast as you can. Verasan is moving incredibly fast. Augmentation discipline.
Me too.
And you all crash your way through the underbrush as behind you, Shauna Briggs is stomping her way through in a Thor. And the rest of the crew are following in their own style. Joshua Lawson is making his way through quietly, but still swiftly. You don't see him because he's cloaked. Dr. Rihanna and Richter are moving relatively slowly, except for the fact that they're actually riding a pair of Zerglings that Richter has brought with them.
Hell yes.
And so you all make good time. It's about, because of how far away you had to land to avoid detection, it's about an hour of moving through the forest before you get there. You don't encounter anything along your way. But when you get to it, you arrive at, it's almost a mountain, but there's just subtle hints of architecture that tell you that this is the temple. It's just kind of been grown over by stone over millennia of sitting here. And as you make your way to the lower level of it, you are faced with a sheer rock wall. And Barasan approaches the wall and just kind of lays a hand on it. I can still sense the energy within. Only to find it, to assume time and hope it has not been encased over the millennia. As the rest of you catch up to them. Kept that scream up for the entire hour-long run.
Yup.
Look back. Oh, that's what that sound was.
I know, didn't it
I
sound like
mean-
someone lit a puppy on fire?
No, that's a very different
Fortitude of 7, endurance 4, people.
Yeah, he kept that up.
He can do it.
He can definitely do it.
sound. Yep.
And Ava's probably making a decent effort of keeping pace without a scream.
Good call.
Oswald's bringing up the rear in the Goliath.
With air condition on and everything, like music
Yeah.
playing. Just...
No, actually, Oswald runs up on the sheer wall. Guys, I ran out of gas. We got to go back.
If getting to this door is your primary concern, I believe we had methods by which to bypass this stone. Vazaran says, looking back at the Goliath.
Dynamite's always good.
So Verasan tries to focus for a minute and tries to basically recollect where the layout of the facility. There should be an entrance not far from here. Follow me. And he leads his way along the side of this wall. And as you follow him, you eventually come to what appears to be a small indentation in the side of the wall. It looks like it might have been a doorway at some point, but it's kind of been filled in with rock and dirt and sand. This was an entrance, if we can clear it out and make a way for us to enter properly.
Does it look loose enough that I could just blast it out with telekinesis?
Take some explosives to blast it out. It's not quite as simple as just push. Pretty packed.
Okay. I'll look back. Well, I believe now we have a target for our Goliath. We should probably clear the area. It makes a very large explosion.
So wait,
All
what's
right.
in front of it?
So the doorway appears to have been piled in by millennia of dirt and rocks. So
Okay. Yeah. Everybody backs out of the way, unless they
Yes.
can think of a better way.
Yep. Totally
Yep.
backing out of the way.
All right.
Unless Cornix wants to go in with me on trying to telekinetically shove everything out of the way.
Nah.
All
we
right.
have things go boom on purpose.
I will.
And make it one of those really awkward scenes or things from Force Unleashed where you have to.
I will spend the appropriate amount of time prepping the guns so that I can get the use my bombardment and gain the accuracy benefit of aiming. Also gains hailfire too, so I'm gonna blow the shit out of this.
Dirk took about half a step back.
So that's 120 damage with missiles because they do 40.
Yep. So the Goliath steps itself to a good distance and just kind of plants its feet as the missile batteries on the two shoulders of the vehicle kind of there's these two laser focusers that just kind of hone in on the spot in the wall, and then just a series of missiles just launch out of the shoulders and swoop in and boom, 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 boom. There's just this series of explosions as dirt and dust go flying in all directions. And as the dust settles, you blasted a pathway through, and after a while, it looks like you can see what looks to be a walkway inside.
I'm really confused as to why we're being sneaky right now.
I mean, that was the
Good
exact
stuff.
opposite of sneaky.
Because Koronix just defaults to that every single time anything happens.
Okay.
Well, then,
Meanwhile, Dirk doesn't express it, but he is scratching his helmet.
I don't
So
think
one
you
of our
can.
engines has failed, and we are currently adrift. I'd better go out and fix it. Okay, but can you do it sneakily?
Stealth to the engine. I mean, he has a Nerazim. It's what they do.
Right.
Well then, I believe that's our entrance. Shall we go?
Be wary of the internal defenses.
That's what we have him
But
for.
yes.
Lead the way,
I'll
Farrah.
just shoot him.
All right.
I will bring up the rear.
Yep.
Better son.
All right. So
Deal with all the threats. Twitch.
Verasan takes point as he knows the layout of the facility, and he leads the way in. You're walking for about 5 minutes before it gets totally dark, and then about 30 seconds after it does get totally dark, boom, 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 there are small iridescent green lights begin to go up in the corners of this walkway as the room is faintly lit with this sort of tealish green coloration, as apparently there's still a little bit of backup power in this facility, and it's the motion lights are reacting to your presence as you walk through. And as you look around, the walls here are sort of a stark blackish gray, and they're all completely smooth. But you can see small little lines of green, of power rushing through small cracks in the wall as this facility almost seems to have power built into the very walls as it sort of hums very faintly as you walk through.
Man, I sure am glad I got a restful night of sleep before this.
As you walk through, the lights go up in front of you as you approach, illuminating this dark hallway. Before eventually you come up to what's like a sort of a T-junction that turns, and he takes the leftmost angle and continues to walk down. You continue to follow him?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
No deviation?
Nope.
So this is kind of vaguely Promethean-esque.
Kind of, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, Jeremy, we're inside your favorite movie, Prometheus.
I do not mind Prometheus.
He was referencing Prometheans from Mass Effect Andromeda, I think.
Yes, I was.
Okay, yeah.
Either one.
Which I have not played, but I have seen.
Those are just called Remnant.
Prometheus is an overhated movie. I said it and I meant it.
I know you did. That's why I referenced it.
Yeah, it does have that sort of Remnant tech feel of way too many smooth geometric angles and these little lines of power kind of coursing through them, and it's all really dark black or gray.
Dirk's attention is going everywhere.
Rightfully so, because there's a lot of stuff going on. None of it looks hostile, but this facility is powering up as you're walking through it. So you've got a right to be a little bit scatter-eyed as you're looking around. Roll me perception, though, Dirk.
Oh, good.
Looking around.
Certainly this won't go terribly wrong. Because I'm rolling dice, you see. I've got a decent 23.
So as you're walking, and you specifically are paying attention to every single thing that you can.
Yup.
In the distance, you hear these low ringing thuds. These somewhere off in the distance ahead of you.
Something's coming. Sir?
Remain wary.
Yes, sir.
From behind or in front of?
In front of.
Up front.
I can see over you guys, so.
We are approaching one of the we are approaching one of the temple's guardians. It is a test, so that only those deemed worthy may enter. We will have to deal with it before we can traverse further within.
I look forward to dealing with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna fail. Just never been real good at tests. I hope this is a cumulative grade and not one that requires individual skill.
He's like,
I'm
I would
pretty
like
sure
to
this is a group
voluntarily take a C for participation.
Ava is trying desperately to determine why Rachel was approved to be part of the United Earth Forces expedition.
The UED, yeah.
Look, some of us were the brainy type and some of us were cannon fodder, and I was the brainy type, so that's why.
Dirk nods.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I was at the top of my
Not
class.
how they teach us the UED is, but okay.
As long as that class weren't about book
I'm
learning, all was
gonna
good.
do that same
I'm gonna
prep.
start. Dirk starts moving ahead of everybody else.
I've been
Okay.
moving with what's his name?
Yeah.
Verasan, yeah. I'm keeping pace.
He
with
is
it.
pushing forward to do what he's supposed to do. And there's something
Ava will
coming,
stick to the
and
back.
he's going to kill it.
So, after a few more minutes of walking, the hallway opens out into a cavern, and as you enter, the lights all flicker to life around you as you find yourself standing inside a massive, almost sort of an entryway to this facility. And there's a rush of this sort of greenish teal power aura, and small bits of Zelnaga metal begin to pick up and hover through the air and move around the area. And a collection of massive stones begin to organize themselves in front of you.
I opened fire on them.
Mhm.
We were told
Seriously?
there was a guardian, and we would have to defeat it.
Do I recognize whatever this thing is as he fires on it?
I mean, roll me an attack roll, sure.
Movement.
I-
You have not yet received the weapons-free command yet.
True.
Uh,
But sometimes you don't give that command, so
so I rolled a 23 to hit.
You hit.
Okay.
What's your maximum overage?
6.
You get 3 of it.
Okay, so 21. Penetration 9.
All right. So you open fire, and this spray of bullets kind of chips away at some of the rocks that are grouping together. But it just continues to build up as this massive, like couple stories tall construct of metal, earth, and energy begins to form itself together, pieces layering together on top of each other. And as it finally completes, there's this hum, as lights begin to light up across its surface, and you are greeted with the face of a massive Zelnaga construct as it looks down at the group of you. Its face sort of lined with these energy markings, with these two bright, glowing teal eyes that stare down at the lot of you. And there's this voice that rings in your heads. You understand it in your own native tongue, no matter what it is. New hopefuls try the temple. Prove your might.
So I rolled a crit fail on my overload roll, which I am very happy about, because that means I only get 2 extra points of energy fatigue. So I am cloaked, manifesting at psi level 10 though. So energy fatigue is
So
only
that
going.
was a crit fail on your. You want to roll low
Yes,
roll.
I rolled a
Okay,
natural
that's
1
good.
on something that I wanted to roll as low as possible on. So Korinix is just gone.
Dirk is full. He's just going to keep fire until he has no bullets left, and then he's switching to his shotgun.
All right. And that seems like a good climactic point to end for the night.
Alrighty, well then, we have been Final Show Films. We produce a wide variety of content every day of the week. You can check us out on our website at finalshowfilms.com. You can also check us out on our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms. If you'd like to support us financially, you can do so on our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms. We appreciate all of our patrons, especially our $25 tier supporters Chris Comfort, Antitonic, and Cat Waterflame. You can also support us here on Twitch by subscribing or donating bits, however you want. We appreciate all of our watchers on Twitch and all of the folks subscribing there. Also, you can subscribe on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube, and feel free to like, comment, and subscribe below. We also appreciate the folks over at 411mania.com. Jeremy, tell us a little bit about 411mania.com.
411mania.com is a pop culture site. We cover everything that geeks could be interested in. All the news that's coming out of Comic-Con, we're already covering it. I've been covering it while we've been doing this. All of the movie, games, television, comics, outside of Comic-Con itself, although also including Comic-Con, wrestling stuff, music news, MMA news, opinions, commentary, reviews, you name it, we cover it. 411 Mania, check us out.
And we appreciate them, and we appreciate all of you for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Happy birthday, Ken!
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.